We're going to talk about what has happened in Ukraine on this day of the Russian invasion. We'll examine the actions and the strategies, both military and political. Now, if this is your first time watching, my name is Darren Gertis. I'm a professor who's built multiple leadership programs at Charleston Southern University. So we'll also view these events through the lens of leadership. And I also wrote a book about Zelensky called I Need Ammunition, Not a Ride, and you can find it on Amazon. Okay, so it's day 99. 99 days of this war. And here's what's going on. So the battle is still focused in Donbas. It's still focused in one particular region of Donbas. The entire front line is, of course, it's not straight. It makes this kind of weird C, inverse C kind of shape. And it extends for roughly 620 miles or about 1,000 kilometers. The Russians continue to shell in various places. They hit Lviv today, and Lviv made sense. Lviv's way out in the west, but it made sense because what they're trying to do is disrupt Western weapons from getting into the country. Sometimes it feels like they shell indiscriminately, but and maybe they do just to keep people off balance. But usually there's some kind of reason for that, like hitting Lviv made sense. Ukrainians are gaining ground in their counteroffensives in both Kharkiv and Kherson. Now, the situation in Severodonetsk is really the issue. Soldiers retreated to this industrial section of the town, and this is where civilians were sheltering in a Soviet-era bomb shelter in the Azot chemical plant. And it's very similar to what was going on in Mariupol. Ukrainians at this point only control 20% of the city, and the UK Ministry of Defense announced that Russia is taking control of most of Severodonetsk, and so it's looking bleak. Now, Zelensky gave four speeches today. And in the fourth speech, he talked about how the situation in Donbass, it hasn't changed significantly. But he's talking about particularly what's going on in Severodonetsk and Lysychansk and other areas around there. He said the Russian army uses all its armed capabilities and does not count on people at all. It is especially cynical in the first line of the offensive. The occupiers very often use those people who were recruited into their army in the previously occupied territory of Donetsk and Luhansk regions. Russian soldiers often simply hide behind those so-called mobilized. So they're recruiting people from those areas that were maybe had pro-Russian, and those are the first ones getting killed because they're not really trained. They're just here's a weapon and go out and do it. And so, yeah, that's terrible. Okay, so now without a battlefield victory, they have to win. They have to militarily win in these major cities in order to get to the political victory and, force the Russians to come to the table and declare peace. But the political victory depends on the military victory, and the military victory depends on another political victory. It's kind of a chicken and egg kind of situation because you have to get these political victories of weapons and sanctions and other things along those lines in order to actually win the military victory. Now, Biden reversed his reversal. This is a kind of a weird way of explaining. He said, yes, we're sending HIMARS. No, we're not sending HIMARS. Yes, we're sending HIMARS again. So he's going to be sending the high mobility artillery rocket systems, which Zelensky said was the top priority weapon from the United States. At the same time, NATO Secretary Jens Stoltenberg visited President Biden. And while he was visiting President Biden, he said this: President Putin wanted less NATO, and therefore he invaded Ukraine. But he is getting more NATO with more NATO presence in the eastern part of the alliance and also with the members. Now think about this. If your goal as Russia is to invade Ukraine so that it becomes part of the Soviet sphere or a puppet government or something along those lines, so you have Belarus and Ukraine to kind of be a border against NATO, everything's gone wrong. The Ukrainians are fighting back. There's generational hatred. And then when you move up in the map of Europe, now it looks like Finland